Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Danut Pranam to all the devotees. Thank you all for joining in. We are studying transcendental teachings of Prahlad Maharaj. We are on chapter number 5. The chapter is entitled Realizing That God is Everywhere. Very wonderful. Like we were discussing yesterday, how Krishna is there. Krishna is mentioning that I am the sound of ether, I am the ability in man, I am the taste of water, I am the splendor of the sun, I am the splendor of the moon. In all these ways, we are able to remember Krishna as we see the objects around us, right? So let's continue reading. Today we'll try to start with chapter 6, which is the last chapter in this book. We'll try to complete chapter 6 also tomorrow, so that on the auspicious occasion of Ekadashi, we will start our new book. It will be our 12th book of Srila Prabhupada. All right. So, yeah, Sridhar Prabhu, go ahead. Prahlad Maharaj says that.
Hare Krishna, Dandat Pranam Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, Dandat Pranam. Yes, go ahead.
Prahlad Maharaj says that we cannot see consciousness, either supreme consciousness or the individual consciousness, but there is that it is there. How can we understand that it is there? We can understand the supreme consciousness and our individual consciousness simply by perception and blissfulness. Because we have consciousness, we can feel ananda or pleasure. Without consciousness, there is no feeling of pressure. Because of consciousness, we can enjoy life by applying our senses in whatever way we like. But as soon as the consciousness is gone from the body, we cannot enjoy our senses.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Page should move.
So, yeah.
Our consciousness.
Yeah, Prabhu, you can continue reading.
Our consciousness exists because we are part and parcel of the supreme consciousness. For example, a spark is only a tiny particle of the fire, yet the spark is also fire. A drop of Atlantic Ocean possesses the same quality of all the ocean water. It is also salty. Similarly, because the pleasure potency exists in the Supreme Lord, we can also enjoy pleasure. The Lord is Parameshwara, the Supreme Controller. Therefore, we are also Ishwaras or controllers. For example, I have some controlling power to take a drink of water when I cough. According to our capacity, every one of us has some controlling power, but we are not the supreme controller. The supreme controller is God Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Dandat Pranam Mataji.
Dandavat Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Right? So here Prabhupada is making a distinction between individual consciousness and supreme consciousness, right? Which is nothing but Jiva and Paramatma. But can we see our own consciousness? Can we see our soul? No, because there's 1/10,000th tip of a hair. We cannot see our soul ourselves, right? But do we see the presence of the soul in our body? Yes. Otherwise, we would not be talking. We would not be hearing. We would not be logging into Zoom, right? We would just be lying down because Jada cannot do anything of its own. There is intervention of a spiritual substance which activates the Jada. Otherwise, the material things cannot function on their own. Isn't it? So similarly, here Prabhupada is talking about when we drink water or, we may, like yesterday I was giving the example, as simple as raising a hand on Zoom. You can see Karpagavali Mati has already raised her hand. I want to read, isn't it? But sometimes, even when we want to raise our hand, we are not able to raise our hand, right? We are talking about how, some people have paralysis. They cannot raise their hands. They cannot do anything. So we understand that we are not the soul doers, but at the same time, we can raise our, like Mataji's raised her hand because she wanted to. So we do have free will, but we don't have unlimited will, right? We can exercise whatever we want to do to a certain level because we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, right? Mameva Amsho Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So the Jiva Bhuta, the living entity, are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So we have all the characteristics of the Supreme Lord, but we have it in minute quantity. Whereas the Lord possesses the same characteristics in unlimited quantity. That is what is the difference. Right? Prabhupada gives the example of salt water. Right? The water in the ocean is also salty, and a drop of water in the ocean water is also salty. At the same time, the ocean water is so much more in quantity, whereas the drop of water is so much minute in quantity. So there is a difference in the quantity only. There is no difference in the quality, because the salty nature is true for the drop also, as well as for the ocean also. But one drop cannot be the whole ocean, right? Similarly, Prabhupada gives example. I can drink a little bit of water when I cough, right? I have that power. I can go get up a bottle, get up and get myself a bottle of water, and I can drink that bottle of water or a little bit of water, how much I want. But even if I want to drink up the entire ocean, can I drink it? No, I neither have the freedom, nor do I have the ability, nor do I have any capacity to drink up the whole ocean. So we have certain amount of free will, but we cannot exercise unlimited free will. Whereas the Lord, he is like the ocean. That means, in terms of quantity, also he possesses so much of opulences that he can exercise unlimited free will. We cannot, because we are part and parcel of the Lord. That's what it is, right? Krishna is the supreme controller. We are small, minute controllers. We can control what I want to wear today, what I want to cook today, where I want to go today, what I want to do today. Everything I can control. But I cannot control beyond a certain limit. I cannot control whether I should be living the next minute or not. Right? Then where is the choice of whether I want to read or I want to sleep or I want to eat? Right? Only if I'm alive, I can make that decision. I can make that free will. So it is the presence of the soul, which is an amsha of the Lord, that is giving us the power of free will. Yeah. And that permeates our body in the form of consciousness. That enables us to talk, to walk, to sing, to dance, to perform arati, to study, everything. Isn't it? All right. Let's move ahead. Yeah. All right. Karpagavali Mataji, go ahead. Because Krishna is a supreme controller.
Mataji, thank you, Mataji. Because Krishna is a supreme controller, he can control all the universal affairs by his different potencies. I also feel that I am controlling my bodily affairs to some extent. But because I am not the supreme controller, if there is something wrong in this body, I have to go to a physician. Similarly, I have no control over other bodies. I speak of this hand as my hand because I can work with this hand and move it according to my desire, but I am not the controller of your hand. If I desire to move your hand, that is not my power. That is in your power. You can move your hand if you like. So I am not the controller of your body, and you are not the controller of my body. But the Supreme Soul is the controller of your body, my body, and every body. Can I continue, Mataji?
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that you, the soul, are present. You, the soul, are present in your body, and that your body is the field of your activities. So whatever you are doing is limited by the field of your body. An animal bound up in a certain tract of a land can move there, but cannot go beyond that space allows. Similarly, your activity and my activity are bound up within the limits of our bodies. My body is my field of activities, and your body is your field of activities. But Krishna says, I am present in every field. Thus, Krishna, as a super soul of Paramatma, knows what is going on in my body, in your body, and in millions and billions of other bodies. Therefore, he is the supreme controller. We have our limited energy, but his energy is unlimited. By his controlling power, by his supreme will, this material creation is moving. That is also confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna states, under my superintendence, the whole material nature is working. All wonderful things that you see in this material world are due to my supervision, my supreme control.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay, with this, we are coming to the end of chapter number 5. Now we go to chapter number 6. Okay, so in this particular chapter, what Prabhupada is saying, Prabhupada is talking about how we are limited controllers. Our controllership is to the extent of our body, right? Even that sometimes we are not able to control our body. Sometimes our body pains, right? Sometimes our back aches. Sometimes our leg becomes numb, isn't it? Sometimes our leg becomes numb. We cannot wake up. We cannot get up. I was just experiencing it after the previous class. I just wanted to go and switch off the gas. I could not get up because my leg was completely numb. Then I had to, move my leg here, like that. And then it becomes okay. Then only you go, right? So, although we seem to be having a lot of power, that way I can get up and go and get a glass of water and all that, there is a superior power, right? Beyond, without whose permission, not even a blade of blade of grass moves. We get that experience all the time, right? Sometimes, just a minute back, you're able to do something nicely, and the minute later, you're not able to do it. Suddenly, your leg, there's some twist, there is some pain, you cannot get up, you cannot walk, like that. Isn't it? This minute, if you're able to do something, you cannot be sure you can do the same thing the next minute. Like that. So we have to understand that we are minute controllers, and that minute independence also we are able to exercise only because the Lord is giving us that power. The Lord can take away that power at any time. That can be either by taking away the power of the particular muscle or the particular bone or the particular part of the body, or by taking away the consciousness itself, or by taking away the soul itself. That means the soul leaves the body. After that, the body is dead matter. The body cannot do anything. The body cannot think. The body cannot do anything. Right? So, so what is it that we need to do? What is it that we need to do? We have to utilize our minute desire to serve the Lord in such a way that we don't want to get another material body. We don't want to get into the womb of another mother and suffer in this material world. Right? We want to engage in that service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is what is the best utilization of the free will. Otherwise, we may utilize our free will for all the nonsensical things. I want to watch this movie. I want to go and watch this cricket match, etc., etc. And then we understand in our final time. Now, what is it that we are doing? We built our consciousness like that of a cat or a dog, or or a person, who is who's even worse than a Shudra, because we've not utilized the human form of life, and so we want to degrade ourselves into a lower species of life. Or we're going to continue in any case. We'll continue in the Janma, Mrityu, Jara, and Vyadhi. And then Prabhupada gives an example, very beautiful example of how, if an animal is tied to a pole, right? The exercise of freedom is to the extent of how big the rope is, right? If the rope is so much big, it can rotate around like this, go in circles or walk, right? But beyond the jurisdiction, if the rope is only this much, then it cannot go beyond it, right? Because it's tied to the pole. Similarly, you're all bound with the three modes of material nature. The more we have Sattva Guna, the more freedom we can exercise. The more we have Rajoguna, lesser freedom than Sattva Guna. The more we are into Tamoguna, that means you're so much in ignorance. That means we have no freedom actually. We're completely bound by the three modes of material nature. We are not actually exercising anything. No free will is even exercised by us because our conditioning is so much, right? Take for example a person who is drunk alcohol, right? He thinks, oh, I'm free. Who's going to stop me? I'm going to go and drink alcohol. He drinks 3-4 glasses and then his head is rotating. He does not know where he's going, whether he's going home, whether he's sitting in that bar, or whether he's falling down unconscious. He doesn't know anything. When he does not know anything, what is happening to him? How can he exercise any free will? Right? If he wants to go back home also, he will need 4 people to assist him to go to his home or even to his car, which is maybe just outside the bar. He will not have the strength to even go back to his car and sit down. Isn't it? So what kind of free will is he exercising? Right? The more we put ourselves into Rajoguna, Tamoguna, right, the less is our free will. The less is the power that we can exercise over our own bodily functions. Yeah, that's what is given by Prabhupada here. He gives an example of how an animal is tied to a pole. And his exercise of jurisdiction is only to the extent of the rope that is there. Right? The rope gets bigger and bigger as we move towards Sattva and Shuddha Sattva. When we become completely transcendental, then we are without any boundaries. There is no 3 modes of material nature. Why? Because we've transcended the 3 modes of material nature. Because we want to eternally serve the Lord for his pleasure. And in that way, when the Lord is pleased with us, then we are bound, we get out of the shackles of the 3 modes of material existence. All right. Now, let's move on to chapter number 6. This is the last chapter of this book. We'll try to see how much we can complete today. The rest we will complete tomorrow and the day after tomorrow on the auspicious day of Ekadashi, in the auspicious month of Gita Jayanti, in the auspicious month of Katyayani Vrata. We are going to start our new book. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Yes. Who will read Krishna Consciousness, the Perfection of Mercy? Okay, Sindhu Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, pranams Mataji. Chapter 6. Chapter 6, Krishna Consciousness, the Perfection of Mercy. Prahlad Maharaj now gives his conclusion. My dear friends, because the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, and because we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, our duty is to be merciful to all the living entities. When a person is in a lower position, we have a duty to help him. For example, because a small child is helpless, he is dependent on the mercy of the parent. Mother, I want this. Yes, my dear child, we should be compassionate to all the living entities and should show them mercy. How can we show our mercy to everyone? There are millions and millions of poor people. So how can we show them all mercy? Are we able to supply clothing and food to all the needy persons of the world? That is not possible. How then can we be merciful to every living entity? By giving them Krishna consciousness. That is how Prahlad Maharaj is showing his class friends real mercy. They were all fools devoid of Krishna consciousness, and therefore he was showing them how to become Krishna conscious. This is the highest mercy. If you want to show any mercy to all the living entities, then enlighten them in Krishna consciousness as Prahlad Maharaja did. Otherwise, it is materially beyond your power to show mercy. Hari Bol.
Go ahead, Mataji.
My dear friends, Prahlad Maharaj says, give up this demoniac life. Give up this nonsense. The belief that there is no God in the demoniac feature that Prahlad Maharaja requests his friends to give up. Because they were born in the families of demons and were being instructed by the demoniac teachers, Prahlada's friends were thinking, who is God? There is no God. We find in the Bhagavad Gita that people of this mentality are called miscreants, for they always try to make mischief. They may be very well educated lawyers, for example, but their plan is to cheat. We have practical experience. These lawyers are highly educated with so many qualifications and are nicely dressed, but their mentality is more base than of a dog. This man has some money, let us conspire to cheat him. They are simply miscreants.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, 4 kinds of people don't surrender to me. Namam duskritino mudha prapadyante naradamaha maya apurata jnana asuram bhavam ashritaha. So Krishna himself tells these 4 kinds of people, they don't surrender to me. Namam. That means they don't surrender to me. Who are they? Duskritina. They are called duskritina because they have asuric tendencies. Because you're not surrendering to the Lord. Who are they? Mudha. That means foolish. Namam duskritino mudha prapadyante naradamaha. Naradamaha means lowest among human beings. Maya apurata jnana. That means whose mind is stolen away by illusion. Right? One who thinks the pleasure of this material world is all in all. Who thinks that the pleasure of this material world is all in all. Such a person is a third kind of person. Namam duskritino mudha, foolish. Prapadyante naradamaha. The lowest among men. Maya apurata jnana. One whose mind is stolen away by illusion. Asuram bhavam ashritaha. That means one who has partaken the nature of the demons. These 4 people, Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita that these people do not surrender unto me. Right? So here, what is Prahlad Maharaj saying? Prahlad Maharaj is saying, give up. These are all demonic mentalities, right? Not surrendering to the Lord, trying to enjoy sense gratification, being foolish, not having interest in understanding transcendental subject matters, coming under the illusion of Maya. All of these things are foolishness. Prahlad Maharaj is saying, you come out of this foolishness. Let us try to understand who we are. And let us not get cheated by all of these so-called materially advanced people who are trying to cheat us. Telling us that this food, clothing, and shelter is all that is there to life. Right? I will get the best clothes, a big house. But that is not real mercy. What is real mercy? Real mercy is what we show to the other person's soul. That means what? The other person's soul. The person itself is a soul only, isn't it? What is that verse? Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yovanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhirastatra muhiti. Dehi and deha. Deha is the body that we are having now. Dehi is the living entity who's situated within the material body, right? Who's having these outer coverings of mind, intelligence, false ego, and then this physical body that is made up of earth, water, fire, air, ether, right? So this is the material body, and that's called deha. Then that deha is bound to destroy. That deha is bound to get destroyed. And who's the dehi? The dehi is the spirit soul. That is the actual living entity. So here Prahlad Maharaj or Prabhupada is quoting Prahlad Maharaj in saying that the highest mercy is not the mercy that is shown to the body. Why? Because such mercy will die with the body. What is the highest level of mercy? The highest level of mercy is what is shown to a living entity. That means what is shown to the Dehi. What is that? What is that mercy that we can show to the living entity? The mercy that we can show to the living entity is to give him Krishna consciousness, is to give him an understanding who he is. Why is he suffering in this material world? How can he get out of the suffering? How can we get out of the shackles of this material body, which is the source of all kinds of miseries? So that is the real kind of knowledge that Prahlad Maharaj is saying that we can give, and which is quoted by Prabhupada in this particular paragraph. Let us not get cheated by all these people who are engaged in sense gratification. Let us work for that which is beneficial eternally for us, that which will take us beyond the three modes of material nature, that is Krishna consciousness. Okay, let's continue reading. Who will read now? Yeah, Priyanka Mataji, go ahead. What are they cheating for? Oh, I think we complete this chapter. Yeah, yes, go ahead.
What are they cheating for? Simply for sense gratification? Just like an ass who does not know the purpose of life. He's kept by the washerman who loads his back as much as possible. In this way, the ass works the whole day with his burden simply for a few morsels of grass. Similarly, materialistic people work very hard simply for a little insignificant sense gratification. Therefore, they are compared to asses. They are always planning something mischievous. I'm sorry. Sorry. Just lost the page. G. They are the lowest. Similarly, materialistic people work very simply hard for a little insignificant sense gratification. Therefore, they are compared to asses. They are always planning something mischievous. They are the lowest of mankind because they do not believe in God. Why? Their knowledge has been plundered by the influence of the material energy. Because they deny the existence of God. Illusion impels them. Yes, there is no God. Work hard and commit sins so that you may go to hell. Prahlad Maharaj requests his demonic friends to give up this idea that there is no God. If we give up this nonsensical idea, then the Supreme Lord, who is beyond our perception, will be pleased and shows his mercy to us.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So with this, we come to the end of this book. Yeah. So what is the conclusion? The conclusion is that we should give up sense gratification. Oh, what is this? Okay, maybe we'll read this tomorrow and then we'll complete it. Okay, and then at the end of it, Prabhupada is actually quoting Ajamil, right? How if we even if we practice devotional service, but then due to some reason we have to give up devotional service, we fall down. Even then, we get a second chance because neha vikrama nashosti. There is no loss or diminution in this path of devotional service. Even a little bit of devotional service can protect one from the greatest type of fear, right? So Prabhupada is actually ending this particular chapter by saying that we have to utilize whatever is given to us by the Lord, whether it is this body which is made up of earth, water, fire, and ether, whether it is this mind, this intelligence, whatever has been given to us by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We should engage not in sense gratification like the Mudas do, like the Naradamas do, like the Maya Pratanyanas do, and like the Asuram Bhava Mashtrikas do. But rather, we should become, initially at least, we should become one of the four categories who surrender to the Lord. Chaturveda Bhajanti Ma, Jana Sukrityu Arjuna, Artho Jignashu, Artharthi, Jnani Cha Bharata Shubha. That means we either inquire about the Lord, or when we are distressful, we surrender to the Lord. Oh Lord, please help me get out of this suffering condition. Or, oh Lord, I need a lot of wealth. Give me, help me get a lot of wealth. Whatever. Akama sarva kamova, moksha kama udharadi, tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Whatever desires we have, or whether we have no desires, what we have to do, we have to simply worship to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, even for the fulfillment of our desires. But we should not be approaching the devatas for the fulfillment of our desires. We were discussing the other day, right? How a person goes to a shopkeeper and every day he asks for cigarettes. He gives 5 rupees. he will get a cigarette. The shopkeeper is not interested in your well-being, thinking that, oh, he is going to get lung cancer if he smokes every day, right? Whereas if you go to your father and ask him every day 5 rupees, why you need to go and buy one cigarette? Now he will tell, from tomorrow I'll not give you 1 paisa also, right? Does that mean that the father is less merciful than the shopkeeper? The shopkeeper is more merciful? Of course not. The shopkeeper is giving you death, right? Or all of us have to die. But we are not utilizing the human form of life in the proper way, and we are reducing the term of our life, right? We can perfect our life in Krishna consciousness, in this human form of life, but we settle for something less by doing all of these obnoxious things. So the father might seem, it might seem that the father is very cruel, can't even give 5 rupees to this child, right? But the child wants to go and smoke cigarettes every day, 5 rupees, right? So the father is not giving. The father will look, like a very strict personality, a very conjuice personality, you can't even give 5 rupees. But what is the intent of the father? The intent of the father is the welfare of the child, isn't it? Similarly, if we are worshipping the demigods according to the various uh, uh, rituals that we know, and we are worshipping the demigods are forced to give whatever we pray for, provided we pray with the proper ingredients and all that, which anyway is not possible in Kali Yuga. But for theoretically, we can say, if we pray properly, do the rituals properly, the demigods are forced to give us something which may not be good for us. But the Lord Krishna will never give something to us which is not beneficial for us. That is why, even if we have desires, it's okay, right? Because of our past conditioning, our past desires, our past activities, if we're not able to give up desires, no problem. Worship for all our desire satisfaction only to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Another example that comes immediately is Dhruv Maharaj. He wanted a kingdom greater than his great grandfather, but when he listened to his spiritual master Narada Muni and chanted those prayers, although he initially started off with sense gratification, he was completely purified. Right? He said, I was looking for pieces of glass, but now I've got this diamond of your darshan and your conch placed on my head. Right? I don't want anything else. I don't even want a kingdom now, isn't it? But the Lord gave him the kingdom that he wanted. So in this way, our desires also will get purified when we worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we need to move from sense gratification to service to the Lord. Service to the Lord and his devotees. Because like we were talking the other day, right? The dharma of the soul is to serve. But when we serve ourselves, we'll be frustrated. When we serve the Lord and his devotees, then we will experience bliss even in this material world. Yeah. So with that, we will end our today's session. Tomorrow we will go through this pastime of Ajamil. This is an introduction to the book Second Chance. So we will start this introduction and then we will move on to our next book. In that way, we will start our new book on Ekadashi, and tomorrow we will study a prelude to that book. In this way, we will do that. Hare Krishna, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. Let's see who all we have today for our Prabhupada book study session. We have Shobha Mataji, Sindhu Mataji, Vijayalakshmi Priya Mataji. Mataji, 1 o'clock in the night, you want to go, you want to get up. Your Brahma Muhurta program starts now, is it? From now? All right. Sneha Prabha Mataji, Sridhar Prabhu, Karpagavali Mataji. Thank you so much for joining in. Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Sri Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. My sincere gratitude to all of you. Because of you, we've studied 11 books of Srila Prabhupada. So my sincere gratitude for all of you all for joining in. I'm generally a little late for my sessions. I keep altering the time. You people are so patient with me. I'm so grateful to all of you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Jai God Premanande Hari Hari Bol. If devotees, any of you would like to, share anything or ask any questions, we can do that now. Otherwise, we'll meet tomorrow morning 5 a.m. for our Brahma Muhurta chanting. And then tomorrow is Friday. Yeah. So we'll meet at 12:30 for our prelude to the next book. Then we start our books. We start our book on Ekadashi. One more thing. I will post the time for our day after tomorrow Ekadashi session. This time we'll be doing for 2.5 to 3 hours. I will post the time. I would request devotees to take time out because this is the most important day. Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Arjuna took time out just before the war. It was a condition of life and death for him. Either he's going to rule the world or he's going to get killed. At that time, he took time out. Right? For us, it's not a life and death situation. We can all take time out. This time we'll try to read all the 700 verses. Along with that, we'll also do 108 important verses with the translation by Srila Prabhupada. So please do join us. I'll post the time today itself so that we're all prepared for our schedule for tomorrow. And then we all attend the entire duration, 2.5, 3 hours session. And then, of course, we do, please join our Ekadashi Sankalpa Japa group where we are chanting extra rounds on the most auspicious day of Madhava Tithi, Bhakti Janani. And then we do our Bhagavad Gita recitation. We chant extra rounds. And then we study Srila Prabhupada's book. In this way, we please Srila Prabhupada. In this way, we please Guru and Gauranga. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Nitya Gaur Premanande.
Mataji.
Thank you.
Dandat Pranam Mataji. Thank you,
Pranam,
Mataji.
Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Dandat Pranam.
Thank you.
Mataji, teach us the shlokas also if you spare some time.
Yeah, we should do shlokas also sometime. Join us for the Bhagavad Gita recitation. We keep reciting every Ekadashi, we'll automatically pick up the recitation of the shlokas. Okay, Mataji?
Mataji,
Join
you're
us.
so quick. Okay. Mataji, now I'm in Germany with my son. So I try to do it 5 o'clock, but that's a night time. I'm 5 hours behind.
Oh, okay. Where are you, Mataji?
Frankfurt, Germany.
Oh, Germany. Okay. What is the time there?
This morning, 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's nice. We will keep it. In the evening. I'm not very sure of my session.
No mind. Even this is okay, Mataji. No problem. No problem. 8 o'clock, no problem.
Okay. So we'll see how it works out because Saturday, it comes on a Saturday. There's also Bhakti Shastri classes there. And then we also have this Ekadashi recitation. And then we also have a Brahma Muhurta session. Of course, Brahma Muhurta we cannot change. It is Brahma Muhurta is always 5 o'clock. But the other session we can try to accommodate how we can do it.
No problem, Mataji.
You can join
Don't
for part of the
change.
session, Mataji. Otherwise,
I will be. I'll try to be there. No problem. I don't know.
Or you can follow Mataji in the YouTube channel. You can follow the recitation of the shlokas. In that way, you hear the shlokas, then you will automatically pick up the verses. Yeah.
Okay. No, I'll be there in the live class, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. This time we will also be doing the 108 verses, important verses of the Bhagavad Gita. So those verses are first we want to memorize those verses. So we'll also read it with the translation. Because when we understand the translation, the memorization of the slokas becomes easier. Yeah? So we'll try to do that this time. All right?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Thank you. Then